Some people enter your life like a storm. They don't knock. They don't ask permission. They just arrive. And when they leave, they take something with them, something you didn't even know you had. I met him on the worst night of my life, the night I decided to end everything. His name was Arjun. At least that's what he told me. But names can be lies, too. He saved me, pulled me back from the edge, literally. And for 3 months, he became my reason to breathe again. But then he disappeared. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. And when I finally found out why, I realized something terrifying. Sometimes the person who saves your life is the same person who destroys it. This is my story, and I'm still not sure if I should hate him or thank him.
My name is Rare. I'm 28 years old now, but this story began 2 years ago when I was 26. Back then, I was a junior architect at a mid-sized firm in Mumbai. On paper, my life looked fine. Good job, small apartment, decent salary. But inside, I was hollow. You know that feeling when you wake up and the first thought in your mind is, why did I wake up? That was me, every single day. It started after my father passed away. He died of a heart attack, sudden, no warning. One morning, he was drinking tea, laughing at some old joke on TV. By evening, he was gone. My mother fell apart. My younger brother, Rohan, was still in college. Suddenly, I became the pillar, the responsible one, the strong one, but no one asked if I was okay. No one noticed I was breaking. I threw myself into work. I stayed late at the office. I avoided calls. I stopped meeting friends. I convinced myself that if I stayed busy enough, I wouldn't have to feel anything. But grief doesn't work like that. It waits, it builds, it suffocates. And one night, it became too much. It was a Friday, October 12th. I remember because it was my father's birthday. I had spent the whole day pretending I was fine, smiling at colleagues, nodding in meetings. But by the time I left the office, I felt like I was drowning. I walked for hours, no destination, just walking. And somehow, I ended up at Marine Drive. The sea was loud that night, angry. I sat on the wall, staring at the waves crashing below, and I thought, what if I just let go? It wasn't a sudden decision. It was quiet, calm, like my mind had finally given up fighting. I stood up, 1 foot on the ledge. The wind hit my face, cold, sharp. I closed my eyes. And then, don't. A voice, soft but firm. I froze. I turned around, and there he was. Tall, lean, mid-30s, messy hair, tired eyes. He wasn't panicking, wasn't yelling. He just stood there, hands in his pockets, looking at me like he understood. "You don't have to do this," he said. I laughed, a bitter, broken laugh. "You don't even know me." "I don't," he said, "but I know that look. I've had it too." Something in his voice stopped me. It wasn't pity. It wasn't fear. It was recognition, like he'd been exactly where I was standing. "Come down," he said gently. "Just for a minute. Talk to me. If you still want to jump after that, I won't stop you." I don't know why I listened. Maybe because he didn't beg, didn't lecture. He just offered. I stepped down, and that's how it started.
We sat on a bench near the water. For a long time, neither of us said anything. Then he spoke. "I'm Arjun." "Mira. Nice to meet you, Mira." He didn't ask why I was there, didn't push. Instead, he told me about himself. He was a writer, freelance, mostly travel articles. He'd been in Mumbai for a few months. Before that, he'd been wandering. Goa, Kerala, Himachal. "I don't like staying in one place too long," he said. "It feels suffocating." I understood that. We talked until 3 a.m. About nothing. About everything. He made me laugh. For the first time in months, I laughed. When we finally parted, he handed me his number. "Call me if you need to talk, or if you just want to sit in silence. That's fine too." I took it, and the next day, I called. Over the next few weeks, Arjun became my anchor. We met almost every evening, sometimes at Marine Drive, sometimes at small cafes, sometimes just walking through crowded streets. He never asked about that night, never brought it up. He just listened. When I talked about my father, he didn't say, "Time heals," or "He's in a better place." He just nodded, sat with my pain. And slowly, I started feeling lighter. I started sleeping better, eating properly, smiling without forcing it. My mother noticed. "You seem different," she said one evening. "Happier." I was, because of him. But here's the thing. I knew almost nothing about Arjun. He talked about places he'd been, books he'd read, movies he loved, but never about his family, his past, why he was really in Mumbai. Whenever I asked, he'd smile and change the subject. "Some stories are too heavy to tell," he'd say. I didn't push. I thought he'd open up when he was ready. But he never did. 2 months in, something shifted. We were at a bookstore in Bandra. I was browsing the fiction section when I noticed him staring at a man across the room. The man was older, maybe 50s, well-dressed, talking on the phone. Arjun's face had changed. It was tense, almost scared. "You okay?" I asked. He blinked, forced a smile. "Yeah, just thought I recognized someone." But he hurried me out of the store, and for the rest of the evening he was distant. I tried to ask what was wrong, but he brushed it off. "Just tired," he said. But I knew it was more than that. Something was wrong, and I had no idea what. A week later, he told me he was leaving. We were sitting at our usual spot at Marine Drive. The sun was setting, the sky was painted orange and pink, and then he said it. "I have to go, Mira." I turned to him, confused. "Go where?" "Away, out of Mumbai." "For how long?" He didn't answer immediately. "I don't know." My chest tightened. "Why?" He looked at me, really looked at me, and for the first time I saw something in his eyes. Fear, guilt, regret. "I can't explain," he said, "but I need you to trust me. This is for the best." "For the best? Arjun, you're not making sense." "I know," his voice cracked. "I know, but please, don't ask me to explain." I felt panic rising. "Is it something I did?" "No, God, no." He grabbed my hand. "You're the best thing that's happened to me in years, but I can't stay." "Then take me with you." He shook his head. "I can't." "Why not?" He stood up, started pacing. "Because you deserve better than this, better than me. That's not your decision to make." He stopped, looked at me with so much pain. "I'm sorry, Mira. I really am." And then he walked away. I called after him, begged him to stop, but he didn't turn back. And that was the last time I saw him. The next few weeks were a blur. I called him, texted him, left voice messages. Nothing. His number was still active, but he never responded. I went to the places we used to visit, hoping, waiting, but he was gone. I felt like I was losing my mind. My mother asked what was wrong. I couldn't explain. How do you tell someone that a stranger became your lifeline and then vanished? I tried to move on, I really did, but every song, every street, every sunset reminded me of him. And the worst part, I didn't even know why he left. Was it me? Was it something else? The not knowing was torture. Then one night I got a call, unknown number. I almost didn't pick up, but something made me answer. "Hello?" Silence. Then, "Mira?" It was a woman's voice, older, shaky. "Who is this?" "My name is Kavita. I'm Arjun's mother." My heart stopped. "What? How did you—" "He left me your number, in case something happened." "What are you talking about? Where is he?" She took a shaky breath. "He's in the hospital in Pune." Everything blurred. What happened? He collapsed. The doctors say it's his heart. He's been sick for a while. I couldn't breathe. Sick? What do you mean sick? He has a condition. He's had it since he was young. He was on medication, but he stopped taking it. Why? She was quiet for a moment. Because he knew his time was running out, and he didn't want to spend it in hospitals anymore. He wanted to live. Tears streamed down my face. Can I see him? He asked me not to tell you, but I thought you should know. He talked about you a lot. Please, I need to see him. She gave me the address. I took the first train to Pune. The hospital was cold, sterile, silent. I found his room on the 3rd floor. Kavita was sitting outside. She looked up when she saw me. "You're Mira?" I nodded. She stood, hugged me. "Thank you," she whispered, "for being there for him." I pulled back. "Can I see him?" She hesitated. "He's sleeping, but yes, go in." I pushed open the door, and there he was. Arjun, my Arjun, lying in a hospital bed, pale, thin, tubes everywhere. I walked slowly to his side, sat down, took his hand. It was cold. I whispered, "Why didn't you tell me?" His eyes fluttered open. He saw me, and he smiled. A weak, broken smile. "Mira." "Why didn't you tell me?" I repeated, tears falling. "Because," he said softly, "I didn't want you to see me like this." "That's not fair. You don't get to decide that." "I know." His voice was barely a whisper. "But I couldn't watch you watch me die." I broke, sobbed. He squeezed my hand. "You saved me too, you know," he said. "That night at Marine Drive, I wasn't there by accident. I was there for the same reason you were." I looked up. "What?" I was tired, done. I'd spent months running from my diagnosis, from my family, from everything. And that night, I'd decided to end it. "But then you saw me." He nodded. "And I thought, if I can stop her, maybe I can stop myself too." I cried harder. "We saved each other," I whispered. "Yeah," he said. "We did." Arjun didn't die that night, or the next. He held on for 3 more weeks. I stayed with him every single day. Kavita and I became close. She told me stories about him, about the boy he used to be, mischievous, curious, always dreaming. And I told her about the man who saved my life. On his last day, he was lucid. We sat together, just the 2 of us. "I need to tell you something," he said. "Okay." "That night, when I stopped you, I didn't just save your life. You saved mine." "I know." "No, you don't understand." He looked at me with intensity. "I'd been looking for a reason, any reason. And then I saw you, and I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe this is why I'm still here." "Arjun, let me finish." He smiled. "You gave me 3 months of happiness, of purpose, of feeling like I mattered, and I will carry that with me wherever I go next." I held his hand tightly. "You'll always matter to me." "I know." He closed his eyes. "Thank you, Mira, for everything." And then, quietly, he let go. The funeral was small, just family and me. Kavita asked me to say a few words. I stood at the front, looking at his photo, and I spoke. "Arjun taught me that life isn't about how long you live. It's about what you do with the time you have. He chose to spend his last months helping others, helping me, and I will never forget that. I will never forget him." After the ceremony, Kavita gave me something, a notebook. "He wrote this, for you." I opened it. Inside were pages and pages of letters, thoughts, reflections, all addressed to me. In the last entry, he wrote, "Mira, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone. And I'm sorry. Not for leaving, I didn't have a choice in that, but for not telling you sooner. I was afraid you'd pity me, afraid you'd stop seeing me as Arjun and start seeing me as the dying guy. But I want you to know something. You saved my life. Not from death, that was always coming, but from loneliness, from despair, from giving up too soon. You reminded me what it feels like to be human, to laugh, to hope, to love, and for that, I will be forever grateful. Live, Mira. Live fully. Live fiercely. Live for both of us. With all my love, Arjun. I closed the notebook, and I cried. But this time, the tears felt different. Not just sad, but grateful.
It's been 2 years since Arjun died, and I think about him every day. Not with sadness, not anymore, but with gratitude. Because he taught me something I'll never forget. Life is fragile and precious and far too short to waste. We spend so much time worrying about the future, planning, controlling, protecting ourselves. But sometimes the best thing we can do is just be present, to show up, to connect, to love without fear. Arjun knew he was dying, and instead of hiding, he chose to live. He chose to help someone, to make a difference, to matter. And in doing so, he saved us both. I still visit Marine Drive sometimes. I sit on that same wall, watch the waves, and I talk to him. I tell him about my day, my struggles, my wins, and I feel him there, smiling, proud, because he's not really gone. He's in every sunset I watch, every stranger I help, every moment I choose to live. We all have a choice, to give up or to hold on, to close off or to open up, to run or to stay. Arjun chose to stay, even when it hurt, and because of him, so did I. So if you're reading this and you're struggling, if you feel lost, broken, alone, please know this. You matter. Your story isn't over, and somewhere, someone is waiting for you to show up, just like Arjun showed up for me, just like I'm showing up now for you. Don't give up. Stay. Live. Because you never know, you might be someone's reason to stay too.